Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ian from MaddenSchool.com, and welcome to our first tip of the Madden 23 season. We've got a real good one for you today out of the Baltimore Ravens offensive playbook. It's in the gun wing slot weak formation. The play is called Raven Double Post. And what makes this play so effective is this extremely unique route that this running back's on. It's kind of a extended wheel route, and because of the way it kind of runs to the sideline before it turns up, it really messes with zone and a lot of the man coverages, basically making this running back open against pretty much any sort of coverage in the game. We'll go over how to do that. I like to run this from the left hash mark to the short side of the field. I'm running it here just against a cover 3 with very little adjustments. There are some things you can do to create some deep bombs, which we'll go over in a film room episode. Just today for the kind of the free stuff, I'm going to be going over mostly talking about this running back's wheel route. Now, before we really get into this, one thing to notice is if you go to a hot routed wheel route, you're going to see that's kind of different than in previous years. Let me go ahead and motion him so you can see it better on this side. You can see how that wheel route's a little bit tighter, a little bit more in to the field instead of hugging the sideline. So EA made that change this year, and kind of in my mind, as someone who's been doing this for 15 years with Madden School, that means that the kind of wider wheel routes are probably really effective. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made that change. So we're using this wide default wheel route from this running back, and it's going to really kind of glitch out the zones a little bit. So first, cover 3, I'm not going to make any adjustments. They'll start making some adjustments and show you against different defenses. It's really just a timing route. Run it to the short side of the field, click on rack catch it. It doesn't look like much, but you're pretty much guaranteed anywhere from 8 to 12 yards every single time. Do it again. About 11 yards there. Now, if you can get a fast running back or a quarterback with like a set feet lead or something like that gets the ball a little bit faster with a little more velocity to that running back, it's going to make this even more effective. It does take some timing here, so get that timing down in practice mode. That's the look against like a standard cover 3, but it's also going to work against hard flats. It's going to work against cover 2. It's going to work against any single zone in the game except for cover 2 with hard flats set to 0 zone drops, which is a disaster on defense. If you're calling your zone drops set to 0, you've already lost at that point. Let me show you just like a standard Tampa 2 here. Again, I'm not going to do any setup here. It's all about this route here. You can see again, 11 yards. And so what this is really going to make your opponent do is user the running back coming out of the backfield or assign a guy to man coverage on him, which either way, that's going to be a win for us if they're really that worried about our running back in the passing game. Now, this year in Madden 23, you do have to get the ball out a little bit quicker, so that's why we're going with more of a shorter, more consistent pass every single time it's going to be open instead of kind of opening up with a 50-yard deep pass. We do have plenty of those. Those will be in our film room and our ebooks. But for now, you can see that's 13, 15 yards. Let me go ahead and show you. Let's do hard flats now. Just show you it works against hard flats. And then I'll get into later in the video, I'm going to go over how to do this against man-to-man defense too. So they still can't defend it even against man-to-man defense. But first, let's find cover 3 hard flat. Then we'll go to cover 2 hard flat. You can see they're on it a little bit better, but you don't really have to worry about an interception even with the hard flat. So maybe it's only 3 to 5 yards with the hard flat. One thing I like to do is put this guy in a streak route, and that can mess with the hard flat a little bit more. You can see the timing there. Now, if you can make one guy miss, that's 5 yards, and they're on hard flats. And if your opponent's going to be on hard flats the whole game, there's all kinds of stuff we can do here. Like we could throw this guy on a corner route or something. We could also do the old send this outside guy in a streak, and then just wait for the running back to turn upfield, and we'll be wide open for like 50 yards. Now that's if you're making reads. You don't even have to make a read though. It's just if they're in hard flats, then you get 3 to 5 yards. If they're in a cloud flat or a curl flat, you'll get your 8 to 12 yards. And so that's what's so great about this play. Again, we're throwing this right into a hard flat, but because of the angle this running back's on, we're still able to get a few yards. Let me back out and I'll show you the cover 2 hard flat, which in theory, cover 2 hard flat should really be stopping this. but I'm showing you here that it really doesn't. Remember to run this to the short side of the field. You know, you can mess with these guys however you want. See again how, you know, we're only getting 2 yards there, but that's a worst case scenario. And if we start to notice they're in hard flats, then you just wait a little bit, and then you throw it upfield, and then you get 40, 50 yards pretty easily. So that's the hard flat. Now, let me show you kind of the one exception, but it's so easy to see. And that's if they set their zone drops to 0. So let me go ahead and set some zone drops here. We'll put the flats at 0. And it's going to look like a cornerback blitz right up from the jump. And all you have to do is just kind of watch those 2 cornerbacks out there, because those are the only 2 guys that if they're in 0 hard flats have any chance of getting to this running back's route. So watch this outside cornerback, and you're going to see he really dives down hard right from the snap. Like, it looks like he's blitzing almost. And then, you know, just wait a second, and you can get a huge gain. Now, that is the one thing that's going to stop it. If you just want to throw it kind of blindly, you still might be able to fit it in there, but it's much harder. You can see here, he's kind of all over it. Maybe he overshot it, but a good user can kind of click on that and make the tackle. So let me show you now the one little thing you can do to also make this super effective against man-to-man coverage. So effectively making it so that no real stock coverage can cover this. So it can be any man coverage. We'll do cover 2 man, but it could be cover 1 or a blitz. It doesn't really matter. So what you're going to notice here, we have man-to-man across the board. And with our running back, you can see that the linebacker with the M over his head is going to be the guy matched up with him. And he's going to do a pretty good job of getting out there just by default. If I run it here, we can't really run it that well. You can see he's all over that. A good user is just going to absolutely eat that up, probably a pick 6. But what you can do is motion this tight end here, the inside tight end, not the outside tight end, to the left, and then put him on like any route you want. I put him on a streak, totally up to you. And what that does is now the guy with the M over his head, that linebacker, is manned up on Andrews, our tight end, and then the linebacker to that guy's right, to the screen's right, but to the linebacker's left, on that right side of the screen, that linebacker over number 77 on the defense, he's the guy now matched up with our running back, and that's a much better matchup for us just because he has to take those extra 3 or 4 yards. Even if he passes him off, you can see we got 10 yards. So what they're going to end up having to do is either man up the slot cornerback or man up the outside cornerback. And if they're doing that just to stop a little 5-10 yard pass to our running back, they're in a lot of trouble. Now, notice you can't really motion this guy over because what will happen is the outside cornerback will follow him. So you have to motion the inside guy, put him on something either straight or to the right. You don't want him going to the same way the running back's going. You can see that time they didn't hand it off. You can see 10, 15 yards. Let me show you that in the replay. We're just going to be watching these 2 linebackers. We have Brooks, 56. Looks like Barton, 57. Normally, again, Barton's going to be the guy on our running back lined up right over him. But because we motion the tight end over, now Barton's on the tight end, and Brooks is the guy on our running back. And Brooks isn't going to be able to get out there fast enough because of the angle of our running back's route. So as we run this, he's going to be running over there. There's a whole bunch of congestion and traffic. He's not going to be able to get over there. He kind of gets picked. And then you can see what is normally like a 2 yard pass. There's no one near him. So we turn that into 10, 15 yards. All right, so I'm going to back out here, show it to you against cover 4. Then I'm going to wrap up this part of the video. The kind of the coverage beaters, the big, deep bombs from this play is going to be left up into our Madden School Film Room section for unlimited subscribers. Now, if you haven't already joined Madden School Unlimited, now is a great time to do it. Best time of year. We're going to be dropping ebooks, guides, coverage beaters. We have amazing tools. So just a quick promo for that. Definitely recommend you check that out. So same look against cover 4. You can do whatever you want with your guys. One thing I do want to call out is this B receiver's route is very, very effective. That little almost reverse whip route, incredibly hard to defend. But this is the main read every single time. Take your 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. Sometimes it'll be 12 or 15, and make your opponent adjust. Now, if he does take a linebacker and shoot over there to cover that, that's why this guy's route here is so effective. He's going to be open every single time underneath right here when the linebacker goes and shoots out over there to the left. Obviously, he's not doing that here, but you're noticing games, this B receivers route is really, really effective. Hope you guys enjoyed today's Madden School free tip. Until next time, take care.